I am going to teach you how to bond with a skittish rabbit. A skittish rabbit is not a bad rabbit. They are definitely deserving of love. Hello Buns, and welcome back to Cinnabun Sundays, a weekly video series where we talk about all things bunny. I'm Morgan, Cinnabun's bun mom, and today I am going to teach you how to bond with a skittish rabbit. Now, by nature, rabbits are very skittish because, say it with me, rabbits are prey animals. This means that their first instinct is always to be like a little weary and hesitant because in the wild, this is what ensured their survival. However, domesticated rabbits can form very strong bonds with their owners. I've actually done quite a few videos on bonding with your rabbit that I'll link below in my description, but today I'm gonna be talking about bonding with those rabbits that just are more skittish than most. There's a lot of things that can lead to a rabbit being extra sensitive, extra skittish. Maybe you got the rabbit before you really did a ton of research and so they didn't make that initial bond with you and now they're scared of you. Maybe you adopted this rabbit and the life that they had before coming into your home was a bit traumatic, so they're just a lot more closed off. Or maybe even your rabbit just has more anxiety than most because every rabbit's different. Just like people, some people have more anxiety, some people have less. But today I'm gonna give you some tips to hopefully help you create that bond and start working towards breaking down those barriers on your rabbit and creating a partnership between you and your bunny. Now, the very first step to bonding with your skittish rabbit is you need to free roam your rabbit in the space where you are the majority of the time. Now, if you're not free roaming your rabbit already, go ahead and watch the video that I made talking about how to free roam so you can learn how to do that. But once you start free roaming your rabbit, I understand that it's hard sometimes to free roam in every single room. So if you have to pick one place to free roam your rabbit, choose the place where you're gonna spend the majority of your time. Breaking down barriers and just spending time near your rabbit, not really interacting with it, but just in the same space, is going to show your rabbit that you're not really a threat. Think of it, if you free roam your rabbit in a room that you hardly go into, they're gonna feel really safe in there when they're by themselves so that when you come in, you are seen as a threat. But if you're in the room with them most of the time, they'll start to just see you as a part of your environment. Bonus points if you can free roam your rabbit throughout your home and in all of the rooms, but at the very least, free roam your rabbit in a space where you're gonna be most of the time so they can start to assimilate you with their home base. Now, step 2 is a hard one, I know, but I want you to not touch your rabbit for a little bit. Rabbits are probably the softest and just most adorable creatures, so it is so hard to not pet your rabbit. However, whenever you reach your hands towards your rabbit, to them, it's kind of like talons of a hawk reaching towards them. It's something scary, it's a threat coming their way, and they don't see it in a sweet, loving way, especially skittish rabbits. They are going to see that as you coming at them as a predator, and it's going to turn them off to you. Now, this is not saying you will never be able to touch your rabbit, but while you are building that trust, you need to have them come to you, not you approaching them. So while you're in this process of trust building, I want you to do everything in your power to not really touch your rabbit, not pick them up very often, just let them live their life so that they can see you as a part of their home and not as a threat. So how are you gonna bond with your rabbit if you can't touch them? Well, this next step is just rabbit bonding 101, and that is getting down on their level. While you're cohabitating that space with them, whatever it is you're doing, try sitting on the floor instead of sitting in an elevated space. If you're working in an office and have a laptop, sit on the floor. If the space you're in is like a TV room, a living room, sit on the floor to watch TV. Coming down onto their level says, I am not a threat, I am not towering over you, we are at the same level. Also, you being on the floor closer to them, rabbits are very curious, even if they're skittish, it just invites them to come and approach you in a way less terrifying way. So my next step is you're going to feed your rabbit close to you. Now, not out of your hand, not on your lap, maybe within like a foot or two of you. If there's one thing that rabbits love, it's food. Even if they are terrified, their desire for food and hunger eventually is going to outweigh their fear of you. So try putting their salad plate like a foot or two away from you. Try putting their pellets close to you, and while they're eating, don't reach for them. Don't even really look at them, just keep doing what you're doing. But if they start to recognize your presence is also a presence that has food, that is the way to their heart. And don't do this just like once a week. Try to make this a habit. Really try to spend their feeding time with them because that is probably their favorite part of the day. So if they can start thinking of you, their owner, as a part of their favorite time of the day, you're going to very quickly gain points with them. Once they start getting comfortable with eating near you, you can start to bring that plate just a little bit closer to you, a little bit closer until eventually they're eating right next to you. If you notice that they're eating really comfortably right next to to you, you can try feeding them out of your hand. Now, the transition from feeding on a plate or a bowl to your hand can be really scary for a very skittish rabbit, but just try, be slow. Again, don't make any sudden movements. Just place your hand out, don't move it, let them come to you, get the food, realize, okay, there's no threat here, and they're gonna become a lot more trusting of you. Now, if you notice that your rabbit is becoming really comfortable with eating next to you or eating out of your hand, it might be time to try touching them. When you do go to touch them, do not reach from the front. They have a blind spot in the front of their head because their eyes are on the side of their head. Come from the side very slowly and rub their nose at the top of their head. That is their favorite place to be scratched. The sensation of being rubbed on their nose is actually a really calming sensation for them, so a skittish rabbit being rubbed there can actually calm their anxiety. Now, if you reach your hand for them and they run away, retract your hand, let them know that you are not going to chase them, you're not going to freak them out. The thing that can really set back the trust of a skittish rabbit is you making any sudden movements. The more you can respect your rabbit's boundaries and the more space you can give them, the more willing they are to trust you when you do try something new. If you find that you've been able to pet your rabbit while they're eating, you can eventually graduate to just petting your rabbit in life. Remember to move slowly, remember to always respect their boundaries, and do your best to never chase them if it's something they don't want. So I want you to know that this process might take a while. It could take a month, 2 months, 6 months, maybe even a year, which sounds kind of terrible, but I promise you it is so worth it when you take a scared little bunny who doesn't want anything to do with you to eventually being your best friend. Rabbits are very loving and very social, and they want that connection, but they just want to be understood. By bringing home a rabbit, whether they're super skittish or not, you are signing up to learn their language. So if you have a rabbit that just has that extra fear, it's up to you as their partner, as their owner, to really listen to them and see what they need. If you can tell that your rabbit is terrified, hiding, needs space, give them space. But if you can tell your rabbit is curious, sit there and let them approach you. It's just about listening and observing your rabbit, and the more time you spend with them, the more time you're gonna understand them. A skittish rabbit is not a bad rabbit. They are definitely deserving of love. Arguably, that anxiety means that they're even more deserving of love, so it's up to you to give it to them and really work on just taking them out of their shell. I don't know what that noise is, I'm so sorry. I really hope this video was useful for you, and if you're watching this video and you have dealt with a skittish rabbit, leave a comment in the description leaving any more tips that I might have left out. Let's help each other out here. I want the comment section to be a community where we can really help each other be the best rabbit owners that we can be. So that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a big like if you did, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, Buns.